Is there a motion now we go back into session? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The next item on the agenda today has to do with the first reading of a zoning map amendment for the 4700 block of West Highway 146 Buckner. Brooke Veman will provide the details for us.
All right, Brooke Veman with Oldham County Planning and Development Services. I'll just give you a quick overview. You will actually see this on February 21st for the public hearing. This is just the first reading. The applicant is requesting an approval of a zoning map amendment on 6.60 acres. The proposed changes from I2 heavy industrial to C2 community business and R4 residential. I'm sure many of you all are very familiar with this site located off Highway 146 in Buckner. It's the Hartledge property, the corner of Quality Place in 146. The applicant is proposing to purchase this section and rezone from I2 heavy industrial to R4 and C2. So 4.59 acres is proposed to be R4 and 2.01 acres is proposed to be C2. Just wanted to give you an idea of what they're proposing to go in there. Is a Crossroads IGA building, which is a pit stop grocery shop and a fueling station that will go on the C2 portion, which has road frontage on 146. And then an apartment complex is proposed on the R4 portion, which is the 4.59 acre tract there. That's all I have. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, but you'll see more of it in 2 weeks.
Magistrate Logston.
Yes, Brooke. Are y'all requiring any turning lanes, setback lines in case they widen 146 one day? I know there's two questions there.
That's a state road, so any requirements related to Highway 146 will be enforced by the state. They did do a traffic study, and that had to be submitted to the state for review.
Well, Quality Place is not.
Quality Place is a private road. So I know there's some things being worked out with Treehouse, which is the owner of that private road. And they're trying to work some things out with the applicant to figure out what kind of mitigation factors need to happen, or if the county would in fact take that into the county road system.
Mr. Greenwell.
Is this what we refer to as the down zoning in both instances?
Yes, that is correct. It would be considered a down zoning. I2 is a higher intensity use. It's heavy industrial district, and these two properties are much lower. If you look at it on a spectrum of zoning, I2 would be at the far end, and C2 might be here, and R4 might be closer to the other side.
Thank you.
Magistrate Dye.
Is this going to have gas pumps?
Yes, sir.
I didn't see them in the,
I didn't provide the entire development plan, but this is, yes, I did. So this would be I think they have 8 fueling stations that would be attached to the existing, or the proposed building.
okay, thank you.
All right, and I'll ask a question too. Is Houchins define themselves as a pit stop grocery store?
They said they're a neighborhood market, so that's what they refer to in the planning commission.
I'm teasing you. All right. All right, so here we have the first reading now of an ordinance to change the zoning at 4700 West Highway 146 Buckner to 2.1 acres from I2 heavy industrial to C2 community business, and 4.59 acres from I2 heavy industrial zoning to R4, which is residential apartments. So that's our announcement. This will be posted on the website, and we will have a public hearing on this in
February 21st.
February 21st. Okay, thank you. Next item on today's agenda has to do with a resolution regarding litter abatement funds for Pee Wee Valley. And I'm going to ask our county treasurer, Melissa Horn, to explain why Pee Wee Valley would like us to give them some money.
The City of Pee Wee Valley failed to meet the deadline to apply for the litter abatement funds for this year. When that happens, the city funds then revert to the county. So the city is asking us to transfer $979.90 to them so that they can do their litter abatement program.
All right, Magistrate Hounds, would you like to do anything about this?
Would you like to make that
Or
recommendation?
Oh, are you on?
Wrong district.
Wrong district, sorry, okay. Go ahead.
Would you like to make that recommendation?
Second it.
Okay, moving second. It's going to give you a chance there, but I'm sorry, I apologize for cutting Magistrate Logston out there.
I'm used.
All right, moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on this? Magistrate Greenwell.
I think that would be the neighborly thing to do.
Okay, good idea. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Now we have a, Mr. Nuss here, Kevin Nuss from Dispatch is going to discuss a subcarrier communications agreement in addition to that.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. As the court will remember previously, we signed an agreement, a lease agreement with the subcarrier communications for the wave, what I refer to as the wave tower, for our new communications build-out that we're getting ready to do. This is tying up a loose end on that. There's a 400 kW generator at that site that subcarrier currently does not maintain and they do not wish to maintain it, but because we're putting our emergency dispatch equipment on their police channels and fire channels, it's vital that infrastructure stay up in the event of a power outage. So we want to use that generator, which subcarrier has no issue with us using the generator. But however, if we're going to use it, we want to see that it's maintained. So they are telling us that if we want to maintain it, that would be at our expense. So what I have is a lease addendum that subcarrier has already approved, as you'll see in the last page is an email from subcarrier. They're okay with it. I told them I wanted to bring it to the court first. So what I'm asking is that you allow the judge to sign the lease addendum, which basically says that Oldham County agrees to maintain the generator at a cost of $1,110 a year, I believe, that they will, Evapar will maintain it. Should there be a break fix, should something happen to the generator that is beyond the maintenance agreement, then subcarrier has agreed that they will repair the generator, but we have to maintain it annually and semi-annually and have it inspected and cared for like we have for all of our other generators in the county. We have our emergency generator at the dispatch, and we also have our emergency generator at the senior center. Both maintenance contracts are exactly like this. We pay on an annual basis. And then the other obligation is that any fuel that is needed, it runs on diesel, so any fuel that's needed, the county would put in there too. Right now, the tank is about halfway full, so there would not be a need to fuel it very often.
I'll make a motion, Judge.
Pardon me?
I'll make a motion, Judge.
All right, we've got a motion to accept this addendum. Second, moved and seconded.
I just have a question, though.
Discussion, all right, Magistrate Hound.
Do we know the condition of the generator today?
Yes, it's working. It was actually serviced. They don't have a maintenance contract on it, but in August of 16, they did have a company come out and change the oil filters. I have been out there and they turned it on, so it is in proper working function now. It was last serviced in, I believe it was either July or August of 16. Everything was looked at and found in good working order at that time. Evapar went out there with me and they did an inspection on it and they concur that everything looks good on it right now, but just moving forward, we want to make sure we have it maintained.
And I assume that'll go on a regular scheduled startup like your generator does at dispatch today?
Yes.
Doesn't it start on a regular basis?
Yeah,
and
it'll
run?
do a weekly test.
Weekly test,
Yes.
okay.
Magistrate Logston.
Make sure, we are not responsible for this generator if it blows a rod or blows up tomorrow.
Correct, yes. I think it's item number 3, lessor agrees to cover any and all costs related to required repairs to the Onan generator not covered by this agreement. So anything that would happen to it outside of regular maintenance, they would be responsible for.
All right, Magistrate Eldridge.
Just as a point of order, Mr. Nuss, it appears that the agreement that they've given you is for a gas motor. I'm sure it's just a,
I think that's a
Mistake.
generalization, I think.
you think?
Yeah.
They're either diesel or natural gas.
Right.
Well,
And the spark plugs and ignition points, and
Oh, you're right, it does.
just a point of order. I'm
Oh,
sure it's
well, I
fine.
said diesel, it may be, very well be, but they haven't, this is based on Evapar's inspection of the generator.
Anything else? All right, we've got a motion. Okay, Magistrate Logston.
I have this question. I mean, just something's eating in the back of my head. So if something happens where they say, well, you all didn't change the oil filter and that's why the motor blew up. I mean, how are we protecting ourselves from that? I mean, I know that how the home warranty companies always try to get out of a deal and say, well, you know, it was your fault that you didn't do this, you didn't maintain this. So I'm really concerned about, this generator might cost $20,000-$30,000 to replace one day.
At that point, we would just abandon that generator and put our own small generator in there, because we're only using 4 kilowatts of power. We don't need a 400 kW generator for that. That's just the one that's there. So should something happen like that, we just wouldn't use it anymore.
Make sure we're not gonna be liable for something later.
Magistrate Dye.
I'm not an attorney, Magistrate Logston, but I believe that the maintenance people would be responsible for it if it blew up.
Well, you're not an attorney, but you are very good at it.
Mr. Cardy, can you answer that question for Mr. Logston, Magistrate Logston? Who be responsible?
Question just withdrawn.
All right, motion that we've moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Next item is a request for continuing the lease agreement for Representative Thomas Massey, who is using space in our adjacent building here, our annex next door. And we don't charge them anything. We've let them be there to serve the people in the community, be easily accessible during their normal business hours. But this lease does present the issue that when we move the jail staff from the building down to the new detention facility, the issue is going to come up about remodeling that building and moving it possibly to a different purpose. So in here on one of the pages, we have early termination. I guess these pages aren't numbered, but it'd be item number 10. If leaseor or leasee terminates the lease under the terms of the lease, party agrees to give a notice to the administrative offices there in Washington, D.C. of the House of Representatives. So we're not bound to have them there for 2 years. If it works out that way, it works out that way. If we have to ask them to leave sooner, all we have to do is give them a notice. So is there a motion to allow Representative Massey to continue to use this office space?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion about it? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. All right, now we're down to item I under contract agreements, and this is the cleaning contract award for 3 county buildings. I ask Rodney to come forward and discuss that with us here. Rodney Gabbard, our maintenance director.
Afternoon, gentlemen. I'm here requesting of the court the authorization of the JE to sign.
Project just a little bit, Rodney. Project.
To sign services agreement with Modern Maintenance as submitted.
All right. Here's the issue on this. We've looked for someone to be supplemental cleaning in this building. We also looked, the person that worked in the police department and also at the dispatch office. We just weren't able to identify anybody to come forward, and there were actually no applicants for the job.
Correct.
And, we've heard about stresses at employment at different places in the community, can't quite find enough people. Well, this is a circumstance where we ran into no one applied for the job. And I think Rodney and Tina looked hard, so we've gone back to Modern Maintenance here, asked them to give us a bid for doing our building and the police station and the dispatch. And that bid amount is $33,000, I believe.
Correct?
12-month period. And I think it's as good a deal as we're going to get, let's put it that way. We tried, haven't been able to drive a harder bargain anywhere, and we do need this work done.
Judge, I'd like to make that recommendation.
Second,
Second.
discussion here? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. All right, thank you. Next item, this has to do with parks, and I'll take this. We've got Magistrate Leslie would normally handle this, but he's out, today. We've got a request again from the farmers market people to use the courthouse square on Saturdays. I'm not exactly sure the right date. I think they start in May and go to October. But we've had, obviously, it's gone on for years, and it's worked out well. They've got, I believe, 33 or 34 vendors this year. They've got a good group, and Russ Morris called me and wanted to be here today, but had a conflict he couldn't avoid. And so they think they're going to have a great season and would like permission to use it. And then I'm also going to, when we're finished with this, I have another similar request I'm going to add right in afterwards, so.
I'd make that motion, Judge. The farmer's market does a great job, and Russ does as well.
Discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. The one I want to sneak in here that is really the same request, but from a different group, the Oldham County Historical Society would like to use the parking lot at 2nd and Main on June 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. They want to move their annual gala from the fall to the summer. And if you recall last year, I've forgotten, I think it was September, they had a big tent set up in the parking lot. It worked out very well and was a nice evening for everybody who attended. It seems to really work well, gets it off the grass and into an area that's got some impervious surface on it if anything happens as far as rain. But they would like to have it, they want to set up on Thursday, have their event on Friday, and they're planning a Saturday event of a little different nature. I don't know, Magistrate Eldridge, you know what that is?
They have an event on Saturday, but I believe actually the tent will be down sometime during the morning. They're not going to be using the tent that day.
Okay, all right. So, but they want to have something there for youth or something that day, so. So anyway, is there a motion that we give them permission to use the parking lot?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Thank-
Okay. Jail Committee, Magistrate Dye.
Thank you, Judge. Today, the jail committee met with Jailer Mike Simpson. We went over his policy and procedure manual. We do this every year to look at the updates and changes, some of the things that it comes down from the Department of Corrections. And I'd like to make a motion to approve that for another year.
Second?
Moved and seconded that we approve the Oldham County Detention Center Policy and Procedure Manual. Is there any discussion on what's here? The jailer, Mike Simpson's here. Mike, do you want to say anything about this?
Judge, I'll be extremely brief. I think everybody's ready to go home and eat supper. But as Master Don said, we met today. Most of the changes come through the Kentucky jail standards. There's nothing really different. Our footprint over there hasn't changed in 20-something years. We've added a few beds, but pretty much the policy and procedure that Magistrate Dye is referring to. A few tweaks, nothing big. It's pretty much the same. About a year from now, we'll be talking about a different animal. Obviously, we move into the new facility. So,
Thank you. Any further comments? All right, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, next item is personnel here. Ms. Schaaf, Tina Schaaf.
Okay, the first item is a new hire at dispatch. We have a new telecommunicator, Amy Adams, at $14.08 an hour, effective the 20th.
So moved.
Moved and seconded, we employ Amy Adams as telecommunicator 1, effective the 20th of this month. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
At the parks, we have a resignation of Sam Doherty, the building monitor, effective 2/1, and then we have a new hire, Danielle Sims, at 7/25, effective 2/8.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
And the last item is a resignation in the engineer's office, Beth Stuber, effective January 31st. And did you want to do these separately or together?
Separate.
Okay.
Judge?
Sir?
I'll make the motion to accept the resignation of Beth Stuber. I'd like to say that I started working with Beth in 2004, I believe, and she was a very knowledgeable person, and I never did find out where she graduated in her class from U of L, but I bet it was pretty high. So,
Okay. Is there a second? Was that, okay. And all in favor, please say aye.
aye.
And we thank Beth for working at Oldham County Fiscal Court, and we wish her well in the future. Now, the last item here has to do with our new civil engineer, Scott Harris, who was appointed as civil engineer, but we're requesting today that he be appointed county road engineer by state statute 179.020. That would be a 2-year term to expire the January 8th, 2019.
Judge, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Thank you.
Scott, that doesn't mean you're out on that day, it just means you're guaranteed to last to that day. So, okay, okay. Thank you, all right. We're happy to have you here. Okay, now I'd like to make an appointment to the, under M here, to the Ambulance Taxing Board. Another 3-year term has gone by, and I would like to ask for the reappointment of Stan Clark, our county chief engineer. Stan's done a tremendous job on the EMS board. Group has taken huge strides forward over the last 5 years. Pardon? What did I say?
Chief engineer.
Long day, Judge.
I know, it's just about 6 o'clock. This is almost our 4th hour. I said chief engineer, and I meant chief financial officer.
Judge, I'll make a
I
recommendation.
didn't say chief of police or chief fire department chief, so, okay. All right, you okay with that? Do we have a second anywhere?
It was
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay.
already second.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Okay, judge is getting a little giddish, and, let somebody else talk. Magistrate Logston, do you have any?
Yes, Judge, I'd just like to say, welcome Chris Hounds to the magistrate. He's going to do a great job for District 5. He's got a big shoes to fill.
Thank you.
Magistrate Dye.
I'd like to reiterate, welcome aboard, and maybe the judge won't forget your name as much as he forgets Mr. Logston's.
Magistrate Eldridge.
Likewise, I would welcome Chris and would also ask that we keep Mr. Leslie in our prayers as he's absent today.
What we do here is give each person a chance to make a final comment or bring anything up in their district, or this is your first time out. Would you like to say anything?
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for everybody's well wishes, and I appreciate everybody helping me get on board as quick as possible. I do want to throw one thing out. We had an experience 2 weeks ago, had to get passports for the kids, and had the passports done downstairs in Julie Barr's office. Phenomenal experience. Was very, very smooth. She told us we would have them back in a short period of time, and she was incorrect. We got them back faster than what she told us. Very smooth process.
All right, great. Well, we certainly are trying to promote that in the community because it's a good opportunity.
It was
and,
very good.
And people are hearing about it in other, outside Oldham County and coming here to get their passports. So, because it's much, much speedier than many other options out there. Measure Greenwell.
Thank you, Judge. Chris, thank you for agreeing to serve. It's a responsibility. Second thing is, thank you to the anonymous donor for the police vehicle for the Sheriff's Department. Thank you to the residents of Ballard Glen for taking the time out of their day to come today and speak their mind, and they deserve to. There was a fourth thing, but I've forgotten it, so.
Well, we got,
Oh, I know what it was. The Longwood meeting that I spoke about earlier adjourned at 9 o'clock that night, and a 7-hour meeting, so we haven't eclipsed that yet.
well, all right, thank you. Measure Tice.
Just glad to be here. Thank you.
To be here. All right, Mr. Carter? Nothing. All right. Pretty good soup. You did get soup. All right, well, I think I'm going to just say that, and I may have mentioned this at our previous meeting, but I'll mention it again. The governor, through the Department of Local Government, has awarded Apple Patch and Crestwood $460,000 to expand their facilities. They'll be moving from Fox Hollow over to a new facility in Crestwood here later this spring, and we're so happy to have that money come into the county to help these disadvantaged young people with a very much needed facility. So congratulations to Apple Patch. County government, we did our best to help them get the money, and we're not taking any credit because of what they do deserves all the credit, but we're certainly happy that the governor came through for us. So congratulations to them. Is there a motion we adjourn? So moved. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
My back, and when I get up, you know what I mean? You get up. And
Before you go,
Tomorrow?